And my name is Henry, and this is Seth over here. Benjamin is going to be our wandering tourist, and Nathan's in the box. So, just to keep it nice and loose, I really don't know very many Egyptian jokes, but the ones I do know, the listeners usually end up in denial at the end.
Boo.
Tough crowd tonight. This is not good. All right. So we're going to start off our skit with our wandering tourists entering into the tomb of King Tut.
Welcome to King Tut's tomb. Congratulations on not dying in boot traps. You're entering one of the few tombs that still has its door sealed when it was opened. King Tut's life was very short. His father died while he was only 9 years old, and he was appointed Pharaoh of Egypt at that age. Fortunately for him, his mother stepped in as the Pharaoh, basically, until he was about 15. When he started making decisions for himself. It didn't last very long because at 19 he died of a mysterious accident or assassination. It is unknown. King Tut's tomb was a tribute to being cursed because during the excavation of it, many mysterious events occurred, and within a few months, most of the people who worked on the excavation died mysterious. Within the tomb was all of King Tut's most precious possessions, such as his chariot and mounds of gold. The reason for this is that the Egyptians believed that after they die, that their spirits live on, and that in order to have a good life afterwards, you need to have everything that is important to you.
On November 4th, 1922, Howard Carter became the first man to step into King Tut's tomb after it had been sealed. After the initial finding of the tomb, it still took Howard Carter 22 days before he was allowed to break the sealed door into the antechamber. Once inside the antechamber, Howard Carter noted that most of the room was filled by a huge shrine made of cedar and covered with gold. This shrine was 17 feet by 11 feet and stood 9 feet high. Besides the shrine, there was other intrinsic and ritual objects in the room, including 7 oars, a silver trumpet, a wooden goose, and 2 rushwork baskets. At the right-hand corners of the room, there were 2 statues guarding the burial chamber. One represented the royal cock, or soul, and the other represented Osiris, who symbolizes hope of rebirth. It wasn't until February 16th of the following year, 1923, that Carter was able to open the sealed door to the burial chamber. Inside the burial chamber were 4 sarcophaguses, each fitting into each other like a Russian doll. In the innermost one was King Tut's body. Each one of these sarcophaguses were made of solid gold and weighed about 243 pounds. On the far end of the burial chamber was a door that led to the treasury. This door was guarded by a statue of Anubis, the jackal god. Behind the statue was a Caponic shrine within which lay King Tut's embalmed organs. Around the shrine were 22 wooden shrines to various gods, and around those were Swahili figures, which were servants for the king in the afterlife. The final room in King Tut's tomb is the annex. When Howard Carter found this room, he saw all the contents of it thrown about everywhere. all the items in there were oils, foods, wines, pottery, dishes, stools, games, and baskets. But it is unsure why the annex is so discombobulated. It is thought that before the tomb was sealed, that grave robbers came in and tried to find gold pieces inside the annex and threw a bunch of stuff around in order to find it. As you explore Egypt's many tombs, remember that grave robbing was a capital offense, punishable by death, and you may be next.